Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
When was the last time you used the term metrosexual?
Probably to describe one of my friends a long time ago.
Yeah, feels like forever, right? And that was such a buzzword. I came across a lot of these things that were socially acceptable 20 years ago today.
Oh, no.
But definitely are not anymore.
Are you going to have to do a lot of, like, rhymes with?
No. But
Okay.
metrosexual is one of those things, man. In 2002, if a guy took care of themselves, metrosexual.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of like he takes care of himself, right? Like it's kind of gone to the wayside. You can't. Now, 2002, if you said that's gay as an insult,
Yeah.
it was almost a mainstream saying.
Well, they had that whole commercial campaign. I think Hillary Duff was in one. That's so Emma and Julia. And they're like, why are you saying that? And she had to explain, don't use that
remember
word
that.
To describe something bad.
Ellen was in that commercial campaign, too.
She was in one of them, yeah.
I do remember that.
So,
Socially acceptable stuff 20 years ago, but man, it wouldn't fly anymore. Frosted tips.
Derek, thank God he is bald, or else he would be that guy.
Would he still be doing it?
I'd have to put the cap on him and then get the hook. Do you remember that? Oh, my God. I used to do that to a couple of my guy friends in high school. They were like, it's time to frost.
I knew better. I think my old man would have had probably such a tremendous problem with that.
Yeah.
Even if I would have done it in college, I don't think he'd have let me back in the house.
Biggest offender was probably Seacrest. Was like during the American Idol days.
Right.
Oh, my God. Ugh.
What was worse than trying to high-five a blind guy? Frosted tips.
For sure.
Being in chat rooms.
Well, what's the difference? You have Facebook DM. You can sit there and chat.
but
That's
it's
the same
not,
thing.
But it's not just randoms. You know what I mean? Like chat rooms, there would be just randoms you were talking to.
Yeah.
And they could be from anywhere. And most of the time, they were like 56-year-old dudes.
Yeah. They're
Living
like,
off their mom's social security, smoking in bars and restaurants across most of the United States was still okay to do in 2002. But man, if somebody were to light up anywhere that's like almost a public place and not outside right now, you would immediately notice it and have a problem with it.
They'd be ashamed. So I was watching the Elvis show, the new movie, and they were smoking in the hospital when he needed his break. He was in the hospital due to exhaustion, and the whole room was filled with smoke.
If you ask your grandparents or even your parents, did anybody light up a cigar as a congratulations thing? It probably happened at the hospital. Maybe when you were born, maybe when your mom and dad were born.
Yeah.
Calling on the phone without texting first.
Yeah.
Do you ever cold call anybody first?
I don't.
Anymore? I rarely do.
I think the only person that I could sit there, like, obviously I could sit there and have a conversation with Derek on the phone, but like, I have a friend named Sarah that loves talking on the phone, and she'll call rather than text because she likes to gab. And I, for some reason, don't mind it when she does. But I feel like if anybody else were to call me
You
and
talk
do that,
for a living and you don't want to talk to people.
yeah, I'd be like,
Let me flash you back to the first couple of seasons of America's Next Top Model. Fat shaming was a real thing.
I remember watching that, and it was actually on What I Love About the 2000s or whatever kind of shows on VH1. And the stuff they said to these models that were stick thin already, it was like, need more thigh gap.
Yeah, right. Other things that were socially acceptable in 2002 but aren't today. Hanging out at the mall for hours.
I could do that.
This happened with my 14-year-old and his friends a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They asked if they could be dropped off at the mall.
Just go.
I'm like,
have a good time.
Are you buying weed? Like, what do you do at the mall anymore?
They have massage chairs now.
That's for old people like you.
Yeah, I'll
But
pay
kids
for
aren't
it.
doing that for hours.
You know what sucks is if you don't have money, it'll beep on you if you sit there too long.
Really? It
Tells on
shames you.
This girl's not paying. This girl's not paying. It's like, shut up.
And the number one thing on the list, I want to see if you guys can figure this out. The number one thing that was socially acceptable in 2002,
Give us a hint.
but isn't today, it's glaringly obvious. Okay, don't say what it is because you're probably going to get it. But just text in your guess real quick and I'll see if you're right. But I'll tell you this, it gives you immediate anxiety. Nicole and Megan immediately texted in the right answer as we were talking about the things that in 20 years ago, in 2002, were pretty socially acceptable, but aren't today. There's a lot of things on this list that are glaring, but the numero uno one is...
And it would give us anxiety?
Instant anxiety.
Which is what?
Leaving the house without your cell phone.
Yeah, Nicole got it for sure. I I did it the other day, and I just left without my wallet and my planner today. I feel like my whiskers are cut. I don't know what to do.
The other day we had a football game, and I left my phone on the bus with all my stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And kind of in my backpack, locked away, and my watch kept reminding me, JJ's phone left behind, JJ's phone left behind, JJ's phone left behind. And there was a couple of minutes there, like pregame, that I kept tapping my pockets, like, oh my God, where am I, you know?
You're
like
obsessed.
if you lose your cell phone game at cell phone at a football game, you're never getting it back.
Okay, I got a question for you. Might be a morale thing, but let's just say you go to a one-stall bathroom, okay? You go in, you see someone's phone sitting there. Do you go through it?
Oh, no. Like, is it here at work?
No, like let's say you're at Target on a Tuesday at 12:30.
No, I would grab it. I would look around. First off, I'd go, hey, your phone.
Yeah.
And if nobody responded, then I'd do business. And then I'd grab it on the way out and I'd take it to customer service.
It took everything in my body to not go through this phone.
How'd you know?
Isn't that weird?
You would have been
like
able to unlock it?
I didn't even like press the screen. Mine doesn't lock. I don't
Your
have
phone doesn't lock?
Neither does
So
Derek. Well, yeah, it could lock, but I don't lock it.
Why would you lock it?
Why would I lock it? I have
That's
nothing to hide.
That is the number one characteristic of a sociopath. To not lock your phone.
To trust?
Oh, my.
I really could care less. What are you going to do? Go through my Snapchat? What are you going to go through my emails and answer?
I guarantee you have a credit card linked somewhere on there.
No. Oh, I do have my Amazon.
Yeah.
But it's just going to get delivered to my house unless they put another address.
Unless they buy a 10,000. I'm just telling you, you have to have a lock on your phone. That's psychotic behavior.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. It's not a big deal for me.
Is there anyone else that doesn't have a phone? Like, mine automatically locks after 30 seconds because I don't trust any of you.
That's annoying. You have to always put the passcode in?
No, because I've evolved past your knuckle dragger Android life, and I just look at my phone and it unlocks.
Yeah.
It has the face lock technology. But oh my God.
I don't, because I look different at all times of the day.
I cannot believe you don't lock your phone. Bottom line is, Kat and I have both been out of the dating world for a while, so we're not always going to be the experts on this situation, and that's why I love it when you're cool enough to bring it to the radio. I know enough to know that this might be a little wonky. So, Destiny, tell everybody what's going on and how you feel about this.
Well, okay, so I'm not sure if I'm being a jerk, but he paid with a BOGO, and it was the first date. And I'm just like, I know how you guys feel about coupons, so I pretty much know where you stand on this. But
yeah.
I just need some help to see past this, and I just feel like I'm being so shallow. But why would he do that on a first date?
I know. Listen, we know where JJ stands. He's going to stand with all the men that are like, listen, we're just trying to save money. But like, the first date is the first impression. You know, like, this is where you come to shine, and this is the best of me. And maybe being frugal is like a good side of him. A guy with money is pretty hot, right? But I don't know. I feel like that should be introduced later on in the relationship, you know?
Yeah, when he starts this way, it just makes you wonder.
I don't know. I don't know how to handle that, because I would be just as shallow. So I feel like maybe people have to take us by the shoulders and shake us, because if I were out there in the dating world and this happened, I would be calling a radio show and saying, maybe there's something wrong with me, because it is kind of a weird thing to do on a first date. So
this is one of the great uneven moments in history, is when a guy decides to save a couple of bucks. It's looked negatively upon. But you tell me about the giant coupon purse you carry around all the time.
Yes, I am married. This is like, the first date is your best foot forward, and maybe being frugal is something that's really awesome about you, and they'll love that as time goes on. But I think you don't cheapen a moment like that, because then that makes the person feel cheap.
You see saving $30 or $40 as a negative.
We had Sean on our show, and he was one of the cheapest people that I've met.
He was in college.
But he would go on dates, and he would make them feel uncomfortable, and he knew it made them feel uncomfortable, all to just save a buck. Remember, he wouldn't spring for 38 cents for that extra side of ranch. I mean, it's stuff like that where you just have to say, in the long run, am I jiving with this person? Then let's just be normal for the first few dates. And then, hey, start like making jokes like, I'm kind of a coupon person. Hope that doesn't freak you out.
How about you pay for yours then, and then I don't have to do a BOGO? How about that?
Even going Dutch conversations are cheaperoo.
I just can't. Everything else is so equal and so woke except for this.
I'm old school I'm old school with a lot of stuff. I don't mind if a man holds the door, opens the door for my car, touches my back, pulls a chair out. I love that stuff.
All right. As you're listening to this, just give me your first thought on the guy using a buy one, get one coupon.
Chelsea Handler. And this has never bothered me because I feel like I'm the person that does
horrible.
this, but this is what gets to her, gets under her skin when she's on a flight.
I just want to remind everybody that feet out barefoot is not an option for a flight. That's disgusting and unsanitary, and people put their fingers there. And yes, we can all bring our own sanitation cloths to wipe down every area of the plane, but truth be told, not everybody's going to actually do that. So to be conscientious of the person that's coming after you, keep your socks on and don't walk to the bathroom barefoot and then walk back to your seat and put those tootsies. I was on a 6-hour flight looking at someone's feet.
Oh, I don't put them up on a chair, but I'll have my flip-flops off. I don't know why. I find it comfortable. But I do know
There's few things on the planet more nasty than the cabin in an airplane. You decide you want to put your stinky feet on there. It's just, you're...
And then I get to Mexico and I'm walking around with my bare feet into the bathroom.
Fine. Like into a place that's sanitized daily?
The bathroom?
In Mexico? Sure.
You don't think that potty gets everywhere throughout the day? And
you're in a sterile.
Okay. Anyway, so I wanted to know the one thing that irks you when it comes to
maybe it's
flying.
like when we land in Mexico and Kat starts clapping on the plane.
Woo! I cannot believe you recorded that.
Good when people clap. So
Listen to her.
I get so excited when I clap and then like a large amount of people join in. That's satisfaction to me. That means everyone is excited that we landed safely.
I'm not a violent man, but if we're not seated far enough apart, I would climb over those seats to beat you.
God,
when we land.
The face you make when I'm purely enjoying the fact that we're all still alive after being up in a tin can, thousands of feet in the air.
Everybody looks like, who's the idiot?
No, they don't.
Yeah,
no, they don't. They say, who was brave enough to lead that clap? And I say it was me.
Who drank all the SoCo? It was her, the one that's clapping right there. She drank it all on the plane.
Oh, whatever. The only thing that gets me, and it's my mom. My mom, every time when it's time to get off the plane and they say, we're going to be here for a couple of minutes, folks.
Oh, she's standing
my mom is
right away.
She's up and then she's looking around and then she kind of scoots her way forward. And it's like, no, it's aisle by aisle, Jennifer.
You have to get
aisle
off the
by
plane.
Aisle.
You have to go through customs. We're all going to wait for our bags at the same carousel. And then we're all going to get on the same bus to go to the same resort. And your mother thinks that if she is the first one standing when the seatbelt light goes off, that she will somehow be there hours ahead of the rest of us.
It's like racing someone to a red light. It is so dumb, and it gets me every time. It's like, don't be rude. Sit down. Nobody's going anywhere for another 9 minutes.
I get it. If you were cramped up and you need to get up and stretch a little bit, but then sit back down. God. Your mom, you're right. I notice your mom all the time.
Yep.
There's your mom standing there. And you going, yay!
Like, we are a pair.
You're like a little seal back there. Just, I'm so happy to be here.
Is it people going barefoot, the airplane clappers, the people that stand up and nudge their way to the front? What really gets you when it comes to traveling on an airplane?
Let's begin now.
After a weekend of not laboring, welcome back into the Playhouse. How are we feeling, Kat?
Yeah, right. I labored all weekend. I cleaned the house top to bottom. And we're not dirty people. We definitely just have that catch-all place, like our dining room table. But everything is pretty clean until you clean. And then you're like, we're hamsters. So I got all of the winter hats and gloves matched up, washed, dried. I know. Redid our guest room. Liam was at the Dells all weekend and actually had a pretty good time. I was a little nervous because he and my nephew Clark are very competitive with each other and attention from other people. So I was worried. I was a little nervous, but he got back. He said he had a great time. Watched the new Elvis, which was amazing as a Baz Luhrmann. Did you see it? The promo for it?
No.
You haven't seen the promo for the new Elvis movie?
No.
Oh my God, it's like the biggest thing. Everyone's talking about it.
I'm so unplugged.
That's crazy. Yeah, maybe get more plugged with the radio show.
Pretty
and
happy
then
here.
The Dropout with Elizabeth Holmes. Have you heard that story?
No.
Oh my God.
Listen.
Get it together.
Outside of the corn kid, I don't know anything that's happened in the last week.
And I can't believe you're just talking about the corn kid. He's been around for like weeks and weeks.
I just caught up on that. That's my weekend literally was we headed for the lake.
Yeah.
And we were other than I listened to the Johnny's game on the radio, and my wife was so surreal. Like, it was a fun time because we brought Nolan with us, and it was just a cool out time. Pontoon jet ski, bonfires.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, my wife and I sat around the fire and listened to the Johnny's game and had a couple of glasses of wine, and it was like just sat there. We just didn't do anything. And I was looking back on it this morning. I got to work and I was like, I have to almost always have something to do. Like, there's always something to do. I have to have a checklist. I got to be moving forward. This is the first weekend in a long, long time that I just sat there. Like, I woke up and I sat there and had a cup of coffee and looked at the lake, and I made everybody breakfast. And then, we didn't move at more than a snail's pace.
I like that.
It was perfect. It was good.
Radio Paparazzi.
Britney Spears has posted a long audio rant on her Instagram, and this is mostly aimed at one of her sons.
Jaden, as you undermine my behavior, just like my whole family always has, I hope she gets better. I will pray for her. Pray for what? I keep working so I can pay off mom's legal fees in her house. Do you guys want me to get better so I can continue to give your dad $40,000 a month? Or is the reasoning behind you guys deciding to be hateful is because it's actually over in 2 years and you don't get anything?
Oh, man. I think, did she just say they're out of the will when she's
just, again, those are face-to-face conversations, not Instagram messages.
I'm actually very excited for her that she does not have to pay Kevin Federline after the next couple of years. Both of them will be 18, out of the house, and maybe out of the house is the best route for them to go. Then they're not under any influence at all.
If I do my gorilla math, he gets an extra $1 million over the next 2 years while he's waiting this out.
Yeah.
Just at $40,000 a month.
Have to team up yet again for that last song. All right, so just a few songs into his LA concert. You could almost hear The Weeknd at the point where he knew he was done.
I don't know what just happened when I screamed, but I just lost my voice. This is killing me. I don't want to stop the show. I'm so sorry. I love you guys so much. You know how much this kills me right now. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you so much.
So he felt very bad. He started to lose his voice, realized he couldn't give them the show that they deserve. So he will throw another show for all ticket holders and they can come back. So that just shows that he didn't dip out because he just didn't feel
it. Happens. It's kind of, act of God stuff.
All right, so Lizzo, we've seen all of her whole butt crack, so I really don't care if she wears high-waisted jeans or low-waisted jeans, but you'll never catch her in the low ones.
Because my waist is high. Everyone thinks, I'm a big girl. My waist is up here. It ain't here.
And what's a trend that you're never going to give into?
Low-waisted jeans.
She's having it.
No, she'd rather take her whole outfit off. Blowing out their candles today. I just remember the day when you couldn't focus. We had to, call the show off because Pippa Middleton was holding the dress of Kate Middleton. She's 39 today, by the way. Idris Elba is fine at 50, and Rosie Perez is 58 today.
The beginning of another school year, and hopes, dreams, thoughts of your child having an amazing year, learning a bunch, making friends. But wait, before you even get there, you meet their teacher. Now, Carrie, I appreciate your time and being on hold for as long as you have. Tell me about your daughter real quick and her teacher, please.
She's in first grade, and he's kind of cute, but at the same time, I made sure to be very clear that I had a husband, and I was sorry that my husband couldn't make it. I mentioned it 3 different times.
Yeah.
But when he escorted me out so I could get a tour of the school, he put his hand on the small of my back, and as I was leaving, he winked at me.
Okay. And you for sure said, my husband can't be here today for this intro to class.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people like to wink. I have an uncle that'll wink at everybody. I think actually maybe it's a twitch, but it looks like he's hitting on you. So maybe...
Yeah, it was just a weird vibe, especially with the touch on the small of my back. I was just like,
that's a little
I
weird.
got that vibe, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't care that I have a husband or something weird like that. And it's my daughter's teacher, so it's awkward.
No, hang on. This is where I want to, hold on. Hit pause real quick. Carrie, I'm going to put you on hold. Would this be worth switching your child?
No, I don't think so. Because
another
how
class.
often are you really going to have contact with this person?
He's willing to do this. If you made it very clear that you were married and he still gave you the low back touch and a wink, if he was willing to do that the first time you met him, what does that say about how he's going to teach your child?
Oh, I don't think it has any correlation with how he's going to teach your child.
How do you know?
Well, if it goes further, if he contacts you, like let's say he has class dojo and he's like, listen, it was great to meet you. You got that fine booty. Let's take it to the next level. Then, of course, that would be like, let's call admin.
Here's the way I look at it. You have a legal pad. You can draw a line down the middle. Pros and cons. Right now, there are way more cons to having this guy as your kid's teacher. And if this would happen to my wife, I'd say we're moving our kid.
You would
Absolutely.
be that dramatic?
We would change
Oh my
classes.
God.
Not schools, but we would for sure change his homeroom class.
And I'm just going to venture to say that Carrie is pretty good looking because it's always good looking people that are upset
That
when they're
complain
hit on.
that they get hit
yeah,
on, right?
it's like,
Yeah.
get over it, okay? Some of us just like pay people.
So
to
if
say
this
something.
happened to you, you wouldn't move Liam.
I would not.
We had a listener named Carrie who said, you guys got to hear this. When I went in to meet my daughter's teacher, he escorts me out of the room, hand on the lower back, which sometimes happens, sometimes not. I think we're getting a little further away from that in a less touchy society, but then winked at her.
Yeah.
And she said she went out of her way to make sure that he knew that she had a husband and everything like that. And we all thought that the wink was a little bit weird until I saw this text from John. Now, John, you practice your wink.
All the time.
Now,
It's
how
an honor.
many?
I enjoy that. I think that it's cute. And it's, listen, if you feel like somebody is uncomfortable, would you keep winking at them?
Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kat just asked if you feel like somebody's uncomfortable, would you keep winking at
She
them
wouldn't
just to
keep
get
going.
a rise out of them?
If they're a friend, I'll do it just to make them uncomfortable. But if it's someone I don't necessarily know, it'd probably be like a one and done thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you winked at somebody you didn't know? Give me the situation.
It's a funny one because it kind of worked out that way. I've always done this. When I go to the Target, I go to self-checkout. I wink into the camera every time before I leave.
That is weird, John. That's very weird.
But the person that always stands by the self-checkout caught me, so I turned around and winked at her too, and she just died of laughter. So it's all good.
You don't say anything. You give the wink to the camera, and then you can hear that the girl she sees you obviously, and you turn and you wink at her. Now, is this a wink just to get? Because I'm a lover of human moves too. Like I love to get the reaction out of a human being because most of the time it's pretty pure if they're caught off guard. Or is this like a flirt thing?
Oh, no, it's purely just for comedy. My wife calls me an idiot all the time, and I still do it.
I also think it's a level of attractiveness. Do you consider yourself a pretty good looking guy?
Confidence-wise, I'm a 12 out of 10.
Okay.
Looks, I'm about a 6.
That's all right. He's a 6, but he's a good winker. So now you're an 8.
That is, I couldn't get away with that. If I was to wink at people in public without knowing them, they would call the police.
Yeah.
It's all about the vibe you give off. If
Yep.
you make it awkward, it's going to be awkward. But I always just smile and do it, and then most people don't really bat an eye.
Yeah, I think that's where you win, John, where you don't linger. If you go ahead and wink and you're on your way, then it's like, oh, he thought something really nice about me and he left. He wasn't a creeper. So, good job.
Exactly.
Hey, last question. Right eye or left eye do you wink with?
I prefer to do with my right. It's just, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why, but when I do it in the mirror, it looks way better than my left.
This part of my face goes up all the way if I do this eye, but this one is like
Nobody
pretty
can see it
natural.
because it's radio.
Yeah, look
but,
closely.
How many, again, in your entire life, for sure last question this time, how many hours do you think you've practiced your wink?
Oh, total? Oh, man. It's probably only a few seconds at a time, but I'm sure it's totaled up to like probably 4 to 5 hours.
All right, go ahead and send us a picture of you winking. Text it to 251-1047.
Yeah, wink us a selfie.
I just want to see what you look like.
All right, will do.
All right, do it now.
Thanks,
All
brother.
right.
Have a great morning.
The KCLD Playhouse is powered up by
I wanna
Bradshaw
read
and
Jess.
Bryant Law Offices, seeking justice for the injured.
I just don't. I used to be a weird confidence guy where I had no reason to have confidence.
But
I
you
was
need John confidence.
This guy is a different breed, man.
Yeah.
I could not. Could you imagine how quickly the police would get to Target if I was to wink at
We got
the
a
girl?
winker.
Yeah. First, I'd get tased, and then I'd get beat, and then somebody would steal my wallet, and then the cops would come.
Yeah. Like, did you mean a wiener? No, a winker. He's down every aisle. He's winking at people. I do want to say, Jess says, ask yourself, are you willing to ruin a teacher's career over a wink? It's a really good question because once someone has a child taken out of their class, people start asking questions, and then you can't undo that negative reputation. So I just think, Carrie, just give it time. You don't need to take her out. If she comes to you and says, he's being really weird, like he's doing this and he's winking at me, then yes, I think you need to go above him.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.